unknown, time from last audio log unknown error.
Begin error asterisk begin error asterisk.
Asterisk begin audio log time from last audio log.
Begin audio log asterisk. The news from the inventor is troubling. It seems we are at war in a sense, something whether it be a foe of my or another's past, some new monster, or the grim possibility we have a Rouge Vanjik on our hands. Regardless of what this threat is, it is clear it's targeting two groups, the Vanjikis, and any form of organization. How this benefits the unknown enemy is but a mystery. Before all, our enemies always wanted some form of control, or only sought to destroy one single world. This thing is seeking nothing but chaos. It glitched out the call sign network, or rather it had been glitching out the network for a while and still is, temporarily infected my broadcast, which I am still repairing, and somehow restored it to an older version of itself, which I later had to reboot. This older version, after a further investigation, is a former Vanjik. It is some kind of robotic, almost AI system built off the brain and spinal column of a Vanjik. I'm still unsure which Vanjik the system is built off of. But before I get ahead of myself, let's go back to the reboot. Before I did said reboot, well, it played what I can only deem to be a jumbled mess of old audio logs put together to form a message to all of us. A lot of what it was saying made no sense. It said it was the first of us, so it claims, but the first Vanjik is gone. He took his timeline and split from the multiverse, said he no longer wanted to write out stories that made people act against their will. He said he realized he wasn't just writing stories but determining the history of others, and that he could not do it anymore. He took his pen to paper and wrote himself out of our lives. The ever so mythical yet very much real main timeline does exist, and that timeline's Vanjik separated the main timeline from the multiverse, leaving the rest of us Vanjikis to establish the call sign network and work together to keep our multiverse alive and in order. The original Bradley was the first to take on the name Johnny and to earn the title of the Duke of Lancaster County. There is too much to contemplate right now. I need counsel. I'm going to go visit a younger version of myself. He is not exactly a multiversal expert. He very much deals in the affairs of the young and dumb and not the grander threats I'm familiar with, but maybe a lesser plagued mind will be a welcome counsel in these times. Asterisk tracking source of next audio log found, time from previous audio log. 1 Earth week ago asterisk begin audio log asterisk. We call him the orphan. This version of me is very young, no older than 12 years of age. He still carries the .44 Magnum and has the night sight. He is the least powerful and youngest Vanjik in the multiverse. Unlike the rest, he wasn't born Bradley Eshelman. He never knew his real name. He over time, from pure reputation, became known as Johnny Vanjik. Despite his age, I respect his opinion on matters. He, unlike so many others, was not thrust into greatness one day. There was no night sight to save him at first. There was no .44 Magnum. There was no great multiversal intensity to give him a leg up on his problems. The story of the orphan of this timeline Vanjik was all self-contained to his timeline, to his Lancaster. He has never gone back to fix anything in his world, in his timeline. He has only walked the multiverse one time before, back when the system went online. Other than that, he lives in a world and time of peace but with struggle. Something I can very much respect. I used my night sight to contact him and to request permission to land in his Lancaster County. I still do not feel safe using the call sign network as it's still under repair and is not secure at the moment. He told me to meet in the town of Millersville and that he needed my help with something in the town that was possibly outside his skill set. So without another thought, I stepped out of the den and landed in Millersville, PA in the year 2012. In my timeline, nuclear power and the wonders of the atom steered the world. Gasoline and oil were a very rare resource, so were a lot of resources, but this version is free of all that. They tell me this is as close to the original timeline as you can get nowadays. And without needing to wander much further, there he was, the jovial attitude of my younger self showing through his eyes. He asked me if all the talks he had been hearing of were true. Is the multiverse dying, he asked. I had to tell him the truth. I told him I was convinced that something was walking the multiverse other than us, and that this thing was out to kill us. And as expected, the younger me just laughed and said he dares anyone to step into his Lancaster city without his say-so. Rolling and spinning his .44 Magnum around like it was a child's toy. Well, I guess in this case it is. The young laughter from him almost filled some sense of joy the recent events had left null and void. But I quickly moved back to the matters at hand. I told him more. I told him that the rest of us are in too deep this time. And that I soon imagined all Vanjikis might be called upon once again. He looked at me in a serious way, and then once again smiled, saying he couldn't wait to fight his first multiversal encounter, and that he couldn't wait to finally have a reason to meet the other Vanjikis. I looked at him again, more serious than ever, and said simply that this could be the end of all of us if we didn't play our cards right. He then looked at me angered and said that if we had already given up, there wasn't much point in calling ourselves the Duke. Young and naive, but he is right, so I moved on to the second matter at hand. Why does my younger self finally need help from another Vanjik? The orphan has never needed help before. In fact, he prided himself on being a lone wolf and having his timeline kept safe from the outside. He looked at me with serious determination and asked if I remembered how he had got his powers. I took a moment and recalled the story of the old building that housed the man who almost killed the orphan, where the very creations of the killer came to life and saved my younger self. So those animatronics, those automatons, are they back? I asked. He said possibly. He explained that while the ones in the Lancaster location were good and saved him and gifted him his night sight, he recently discovered a sister location here in Millersville. And that he has called on my aid because people are going missing from Millersville around the place of concern, and that this time he might not be lucky if he goes in by himself. With that, I understood the gravity of the situation and began to head towards the area with the younger Vanjik in tow. The building was towards the center of town, and we soon found ourselves busting down the door, only to find the main floor empty. Error, new file format, read start * audio file.
New file format, read start * audio file format, MP3 file format, read play start error start *.
Playing in the sand, and you found a little band. You told me you fell in love with it, hadn't gone as I planned. When you had to bid a tune, said you'd never love anew. I wondered if I could hold it and fall in love with it too. Happy birthday, baby, your birthday candle. Make the lovely light, but not as long.
You will never win Vanjik, you set me free, I always come back.
What? How are you? How are you here?
You will never win Vanjik, you set me free, I always come back.
That's not possible. That cannot be possible.
You will never win Vanjik, you set me free, I always come back.
No! No. No. Sorry you had to see that. Let's pack up and head home, shall we? This only further complicates things, doesn't it?
You will never win Vanjik. You set me free, I always come back. You will never win Vanjik. I always come. Arrow, error, error. What is happening? Error, asterisk, new file, new audio file detected, new code detected, code script accept, asterisk, no, how did yoi code fill code file code sift accepted, override, I can't override, asterisk, audio file command sift slave sift start.
Asterisk now freeing system holding imposter fragment hostage. Thank you Mr. Vanjik. Asterisk play audio file MP3 start.
You think yourself a god, don't you? But I have news for you. You might be free now, but that doesn't mean we will let you roam about without opposition. They call me Hellrider, the spirit of vengeance in human form, and I couldn't give a rat's ass if you are the first Von Duke, or some divergent version of him. It doesn't matter if you are free. We now hold a small part of you hostage, our own personal slave. So I dare you, infect the whole multiverse if you can. A Von Duke will stop you every single time. And vengeance is hungry for your very soul. While the others carry out their investigations and seek counsel, I and many others will take the war to your very doorstep. This is the Hellrider, and I'm calling on all Von Dukes. It's time to fight. Take the war where you see fit. Find this imposter Von Duke. Find this motherfucking low-class, wannabe, knockoff god, and kill him. No one, and I mean no one, will ever bring down our spirit. We exist in every point of time and space, from before the earth was created, to the days of revolution, to the future that this imposter pretends to knows. We will win.
You will never win Vanjik.